What's up, everybody? Thank you for stopping by to my channel. Oh man, I just want to say thank you to all the people coming into the chat, to all my rovers. You guys, please check in. I know my rovers don't like to, they just like to watch. They don't ever say anything, but it'd be really nice if you just check in and let me know where you guys are watching from. We are getting into it today. We are looking at the Rolling Stone interview with BTS. Now, today, we're going to look at the group interview, and then after, we're going to look at RM and Jin's interview. And the next week, we will finish it off with the rest of the group. So, today, let's get into it. Rolling Stone. These guys not only grace the front cover of Rolling Stone, I believe they all got their own Rolling Stone cover. Listen, if these guys don't win a Grammy in 2027, there's probably going to be a violent revolt. I think we all need to, how do you say? You need to storm the Neris building. Storm the Grammy building. Anyways, they better win because we're going to start this campaign really soon. Opening nominations start in July. So, yeah, we're going to be ramping it up. So I've read some of the comments. They don't need a Grammy. They're so above a Grammy. Shut up. I don't want to hear that. Here's why. These guys deserve a Grammy how many years ago?
A long time ago.
A long ass time ago. I don't want
And
to hear
also,
that.
anybody can say they don't want them, but every musician in the world wants one of those.
Every person you're right. Every musician wants to earn a Grammy. A Grammy is the highest award that you can get in the world when it comes to music and music business. So I don't want to hear it. I understand RM once said, well, it's not that important. It is too. It is very important. It's just being snubbed like that after all the work that you've done.
Right.
I understand why he's so upset or let down. So as far as they're above a Grammy, no, they're not. They are not above a Grammy. What are you talking about? The Grammy is the highest mark to get. So being above a Grammy would be which I believe they should get a Lifetime Achievement Award. Not just a Grammy, but they should dedicate a whole night to them and their Lifetime Achievement Award. Yeah. So, nah, man, I don't understand you guys. I get you guys that they got snubbed and they shouldn't have to worry about that, but bullshit. Bullshit. Those guys deserve a Grammy. End of story. Anyways, I'm going to get off that. Let's get to the Rolling Stone interview. I have heard in the industry inside info that there's a very big probability that they're going to do the Super Bowl, which I think is going to be great. But I believe they do touch on this because that's in the credits. They talk about it. So let's get to it. Let's count it down. 1, 2, 3.
We're just so small. We're just a boy band from Korea.
And come on. Actually, come on.
They look so good on this photo shoot.
Guys, welcome back to the cover of Rolling Stone. Woo!
We're back.
100 songs, 110 songs I've heard from you guys, that there were many, many songs. How do you narrow that down? How do you decide what to focus on? How many of them are finished? What are the ones that aren't on the album? What do they like? Are the ones you missed?
They're going to be on the next album.
나 올해 만들었던 곡은 어떻게 되지?
뭐 이제 각자가 이제 쓰거나 뭐 그러지 않을까? 근데 일단 뭐 우리 안에서 다 소진하겠지. 뭐 딴 데로 가기보다는.
일단 저희가 만들었던 곡들은 저희가 다 같이 모여서 듣고 회사 직원분들도 따로 다 같이 들으면서 의견 취합을 다 같이 한 것 같아요. 이 곡은 좋은 것 같다. 이 곡은 그래도 단체 앨범에 좀 결이 다른 느낌이 있지 않나, 뭐 이런 식으로 의견을 내면서 한 곡 한 곡 이렇게 그 곡을 정말 다 들어봤어요, 다 같이. 예.
Does it ever become not a fight but an argument about, no, I love this song, you don't love this song has to be on there? How intense does that discussion get? Because it's important what makes up an album.
사실 정해진 게 아무것도 없었어서 그런 일은 없었습니다.
우리끼리 그냥 우리끼리
엇갈렸었지.
합의해서 그냥 이야기하고.
일단은
엄청 엇갈리지 않나?
엄청 엇갈렸었지.
왜? 일단은 각자 취향이 다 달라가지고
뭐가 들어가야 된다 이런 것들에
그것 때문에
대한
바디 투 바디만 엇갈렸지.
아니,
네,
One More Night도 그렇지.
녹음 직전까지도
아,
다른
그런가?
곡을 집어넣겠다고 막 회의를 몇 번 했다가 결국에 막 빠지고 나랑 남준이가 되게 좋아했던 곡이 있는데
곡 고를 때 말고 작업할 때.
곡 고를 때
그러니까 지금
말하는
곡
거.
고를 때
밴드-
말하는 거니까.
아 그래?
사운드 있던 거.
바로 문제가 생겼죠.
There were a lot of conflicts. Like, yeah, which to go and which not to go. You know, maybe like two of us, like really strongly, you know, claim that this song has to be album if they have some logics or stuff. You know, some even the major number is gonna like, this has to be song, then it's gonna. There were like so many conflicts. I can't even remember.
So it could have been, you could have chosen 14 different songs and it would have been, we would be having a whole different discussion about what kind of album this is. Is that fair to say?
아, 무조건이죠.
무조건.
Does anyone have like one song that they're still thinking about that they can't let go?
이렇게 있지 않나?
근데 이게 있어도 저희가 말을 못 해드려요.
그런 노래가 각자마다 몇 개 있었던 것 같아요. 이거 왜 안 들어갔어? 아쉽다 이러면서.
This album is so strong, so good, and I feel like it's, at least in part, the answer to the question that you all posed in 2022 after Butter and Permission to Dance and Dynamite, that there was a question of who BTS was and what you would do next. But I was wondering about how everyone felt about that, hitting that moment and the sort of debate about what to do next.
뭐 정체성에 관련된 거는 뭐 사실 뭐 이번 앨범뿐만 아니라 계속해서 저희가 그런 것들을 담아왔고 앞으로도 계속해서 담아가지 않을까. 이게 또 그 나이 때마다 또 그 환경마다 계속해서 이제 생각들이 바뀌다 보니 그런 것들이 이제 계속 앨범에 들어가야 그게 이제 뭐 저희가 나아갈 방향 아닌가 그렇게 생각합니다.
뭐 사실 정체성이란 거는 늘 사실 염두를 해두고 작업을 하고 있고 이번 앨범에서는 특히나 그 정체성이 더 뭔가 보여지는 그런 앨범을 다 같이 만든 것 같고요. 그리고 사실 어떤 곡이든 뭐 버터든 다이너마이트든 퍼미션 투 댄스든 그때 그 시기에 맞춰서 할 수 있는 우리들의 음악들을 하고 계속해서 보여주고 그 음악을 통해서 뭔가 다 같이 즐길 수가 있다면은 그것만으로도 굉장히 또 좋은 의미가 아닌가라는 생각도 드네요.
So I think the only consensus we had after the ministry was that we all are rooted in Korea, and then we came through quite a journey, if we could call it like that. And then let's start it from there, and let's get back to some point, but let's move on for some parts. So you know, it was all about like controlling and finding some point. Musically, visually, I think we're still, you know, everyone thinks different right now. So, you know, but the Korean thing was that I think that's our identity.
I feel like there's also a push and pull in general between the rappers and the singers, and which sort of predominates. Everyone gets their shot on this album, but I feel like there's a slight rebalancing back towards the rapping, which is really very core to BTS. I wonder how conscious that was.
뭐 의도적이라기보다는 우리가 할 수 있는 선에서 뭔가 할 수 있는 것들을 많이 해보자라는 식으로 해봤기 때문에 자연스럽게 그런 뭔가 폼이 나온 것 같고 뭐 어쨌건 그런 우리들의 어렸을 때 그런 뿌리들과 그리고 우리가 들어왔던 음악들과 이런 것들이 조금씩은 지금의 우리에게도 영향이 있지 않나라는 생각도 들고요. 네, 그냥 사실 너무 재밌게 음악하고 만들고 있어서 네, 그리고 오랜만에 팀으로 와가지고 이렇게 하는 것도 즐겁고 네, 그래서 더 그런 진정성이 있는 또 이번 앨범이 탄생이 된 것 같고 오랜만에 온 만큼 네.
I love on Hooligan. I'm obsessed with the falsetto part. You know, why this bassline so rude? You know, it's so fun to hear everyone sing it. What do you remember about coming up with that part and also distributing it among the singers?
일단 뭐 곡을 전반적으로 사실 정국이가 좀 많이 컨트롤을 했고
훌리건.
제가 딱 세션에 도착했을 때 그 훌리건을 딱 작업을 하고 있었고 형 들어보라고 해가지고 들었는데 그럼 뭐 말씀해 주시는 그런 보컬 파트나 뭐 랩 파트나 너무 잘 만들어져 있는 그런 곡이었고 그리고 노래 부를 수 있는 그러니까 그건 완전 랩라들을 위한 약간 곡이었고 사실 보컬은 뭐 정할 필요도 없이 딱 무슨 보컬이 정해져 있어가지고 네 개가
전반적으로 좀 랩도 그렇고 노래도 그렇고 좀 힘을 좀 빼려고 좀 많이 한 앨범이라
좀 밸런스가 이번에 좀 좋은 것 같아요 이번 앨범.
Who has the highest range? Who can hit the highest falsetto?
지민 아니야? 지민이가 제일.
지민이 너무 월등하게 높죠.
그래서 이번 앨범에 좀 고생 많이 했다고.
우리 팀의 영원한 약간 숙제 같은 거죠. 또 음역대가 있는 친구들이 있고 또 낮은 친구들이 있고
Yeah.
이런 것들을 어떻게 조화롭게 만들어내냐가 사실 BTS 곡을 만드는 데 있어 굉장히 좀
Yeah,
좀
but it works
해결해야
out
되는
because they can
부분들이
do
있고 그런 것들을 잘 해결했기
octaves.
때문에 또 좋은 곡들이
Jimin
많이
will
탄생이
do
됐고
or Jungkook
저는
will do the
그래도
higher,
낮은
and he will
쪽인데
do the lower.
이제 많이 배웠죠. 지난 앨범들로 인해 이제 계속 배우고 나서 이제 그나마 좀 괜찮아졌는데 그래도 아직까지는 여전히 저한테는 숙제로 남아있긴 하죠.
아유, 너무 잘합니다.
진성이 안 되니까 가성을 하는 거예요.
One of the key decisions, it seems like making this album was to include Arirang on Body to Body. How did that become part of that song?
Hinman Bang, like which is our head director, he came up with that idea and he and his producer edited it into one song and then gave us a listen. And then first time, nah. Second time, okay, I'm getting convinced. Third time, I think this version should be like this.
Wow.
Yeah.
People may forget, but you have actually sung that. It's of course not on the album, but you have sung that whole song in the past.
저희가 어디서 불렀죠?
10 years ago,
파리에서
K-Con Paris.
아니 파리에서 킹콘.
그러니까
It's a haunting song, a beautiful song, 600 years old.
If you're a Korean, everyone knows the song.
yes.
Just mouth to mouth. It's not in the textbook or from the school. Just everyone just somehow gets to know the song in Korea. And I told you before, we were not we couldn't reach a certain specific consensus even after the military. So, but I told you like there was one thing that we all know, that we are all from rooted in Korea. And the label like also talked a lot about the things what we want to do next for the 2.0, and they taught us all the histories about Howard.
Yeah.
It was in 1896.
Yeah.
Exactly 130 years ago. The funny thing is that there were 7 guys took the ship to record the first song with the Korean lyrics and Korean voice. So I think it's very we felt like this is a kind of destiny and like a time machine, like they were sending to us maybe. So if we claim ourselves our next chapter as like a new Arirang, then I think it could symbolize us very well, and it's gonna be really cool.
The resonance is really cool.
Yes.
The Howard thing is amazing. Like
That was an amazing idea.
But the song "Aliens" is at least a double entendre. It's like you guys are so cool and so unique. You're like space aliens, but there's also an element you're talking about, sort of the idea of being seen as foreign when you go abroad. I think both things are happening in that song. Tell me about that metaphor and that song coming together.
형 아닌가?
그 원래는 가사가 에일리언이 아니라
Endless.
엔들레스였는데 그게 엔들레스가 이제 에일리언으로 바꿨으면 좋겠다고 아이디어를 내서 에일리언으로 바꿨죠.
남자 형이 아이디어를 내주셨잖아요.
The original theme was endless. So it was like endless, like something like that. And the song was really catchy. It sounded nice. With Mike Will made it. He's a crazy producer. He's so great. But like it's something endless. Okay. Maybe we need a more sharper, edgy theme. And I don't know, like someone who came up with that idea, but endless and aliens, they sound really similar. So we changed to aliens, and I wrote the lyrics with, what if we just, we just claim ourselves as aliens to all those foreigners abroad and just saying like, brother, please get your slides, indoors because, I know you guys go to the hotel bag with your shoes on and that's so dirty. It's something, just a little like a humor and like sarcasm like that.
Which is
Yeah.
true, by the way. It is
Yeah,
disgusting.
they have
I
that
agree with you.
with their shoes and
Yeah,
everything.
so we just, since this album is about the being proud as Korean and an Asian, we try to put some the materials that we, only have that we are Koreans and we're from the Far East Asia.
And for your aliens, I think there's a hope that maybe you'll land your ship at the Super Bowl next year. I'm wondering how you guys feel about that. For some reason, after Bad Bunny is of course American,
It was so cool.
and it was so amazing. But I think the idea of a non-English language Super Bowl halftime show. Suddenly
Yeah,
people were
next
thinking,
year in
well, why not
Korean.
BTS? So I
This year
wonder
it was in
how you all
Spanish,
feel
next
about
year
that.
Korean.
불러주셔야 가죠, 일단.
일단 너무 과분한 그런
네.
뭔가 너무
말씀 너무 감사합니다.
예.
예.
그래서 뭐 사실 뭐 어떤 아티스트든 사실 꿈의 무대이기도 하고 슈퍼볼이라는 거. 특히나 더 그쪽 문화권에 있는 아티스트들한테도 더 되게 엄청난 무대인 거라서 사실 저희는 저희 할 것들을 일단은 열심히 하고 거기에 맞게끔 주어진 대로 뭔가들을 많이 앞으로 헤쳐나가지 않을까라는 생각이 들어요. 예.
무대를 봤는데 되게 멋있는 무대더라고요. 그래서 상상을 하긴 해요. 우리는 퍼포먼스가 꽤 많은 그룹인데 만약에 우리가 한다면 저기서 우리는 어떤 무대를 할 수 있을까라고 상상을 하는데 그거는 이제 저희를 불러주셨을 때의 영역이니까 뭐 언젠가 기회가 된다면 또 기회를 한번 노려보도록 하겠습니다.
And Jungkook, you grimaced when I said Super Bowl.
하고는 싶은데 뭐 불러주셔야 할 수 있는 거니까.
Jungkook was almost there because, Usher invited him before the military.
Oh.
But yeah, didn't work out because he went to military. So, it's like officially, unofficially, I think it's the best event and a show stage, in the whole world. And Bad Bunny, he was amazing. And I know he's from Puerto Rico and he's also an American. So I think there was kind of context between all of that and the flow of the everything. But yeah, we always like thought of like what if we like do some parts in the Super Bowl. Maybe we could like collaborate with other artists like the Coldplay and like Bruno Mars did and like Lady Gaga did with this time with Bad Bunny. Maybe if the time goes by and the thoughts in the people get to change, all of the people in the world are watching like Parasites, all those great things like Korean culture. So if there's a chance, then definitely want to someday.
I wanted to ask what you all thought the first time you heard the lyrics to Jungkook's great song 7, the explicit version. Since he's the youngest of the band, if you were
All right, I want to stop it right there. I want to talk about that. I think personally that if they're already speaking about them being in the Super Bowl, although they're saying operative phrases here, of course, if we get invited, which is the operative phrase, but I just believe that they wouldn't be saying anything about the Super Bowl if they hadn't been invited. I'm not saying they're being, how do I say, deceptive. I think they're being sneaky.
Well, yeah, they're the kings of spoilers, so
Right. Also, anything could happen, right? So I think also they're just kind of saying, well, because anything could happen, we'll put it out in the ether to see what it picks up. But I think in the inside, I don't think Jay-Z is stupid. I think he knows that if they were to be on the Super Bowl next to Bad Bunny, that would be the biggest Super Bowl ever. 500 million fans almost. What percentage of that fan base do you believe could afford tickets to the Super Bowl? Let me tell you, it may be low, but if you take that number and say, okay, let's just say that's 5% of the people, right? And I'm being very conservative. 5% of the people can afford Super Bowl tickets and everything that encompasses Super Bowl tickets coming to the United States if they're not in the United States. I'm talking about the ones who are outside of the United States, coming there, getting hotels and all that kind of stuff. I don't know. I'd say I'm just guessing. I'm not pulling my data from anything. Straight out of my butt. That's it.
But aren't they gonna be when is the Super Bowl? Isn't it in February or something like
I can't
that?
remember. That shows you how
I
much I'm in
think they're gonna
sports.
be. They're gonna
When
be.
was the last Super Bowl?
Well, that's why I'm.
Okay, Google. When was the last Super Bowl with Bad Bunny? What date was that?
Here's some information from the web that might possibly help. On the website NBC.com, they say, Lady Gaga, Ricky Martin and celebrities in Bad Bunny's Super Bowl halftime show. Lady Gaga performs with Bad Bunny on stage during the Apple Music Super Bowl 60 halftime show at Levi's Stadium on February 8, 2026 in Santa Clara, California.
Bitch, I didn't ask you that.
February 8th. So I'm saying they're gonna be on tour up until March 2027. So
February.
right. So unless unless it's something that it's in the middle of the tour and it coincides that they are in the U.S.
Well,
which I
that's
don't
what kind of
think-
makes me say that there's already been an invite. For that to happen, to correlate with their tour, they would have to have those dates available. No?
Yeah, right.
So, you know what I mean? So
That's what I'm saying.
I
'cause-
think it's already set in stone. I just don't think they can come out and say we're going to do it because anything can happen between now and then, especially with what's happening right now in the United States, and especially with what's happening in the world with war and all this stupid shit that's happening. So in any event, I say that that's probably why they haven't been able to come out and just say we're going to do the Super Bowl because one, I don't think they announced it this early. Number one. Number two, again,
I got the game is scheduled to be played February 14th, 2027.
okay, February 14th is the Super Bowl 2027.
Now let
and
me see the BTS tour in 2027.
looking things up online as we go, peeps. Be patient, but this is some good shit.
See, they're in Melbourne,
They're in Melbourne at that time?
February 12th and 13th, unless they would fly on the 13th right after the concert for the Super Bowl, which I doubt because then
What? No.
the next one is in Sydney, February 20th. So
Oh, they could do that. They had that night in on the 13th, they could jump a flight to the United States and they would get there a day before the Super Bowl. Because think about how many hours
they're
Australia is from us in Europe. It's way forward in the United States, so it would work. So they could get off the plane or get off stage on the 13th, fly to wherever it's going to be.
already they're gonna be on there by that time they will have been on tour for over a year.
I mean, that's how they're going to do it. I'm telling you. Why wouldn't they do it?
I don't
That's the
think
last part of the tour, isn't it?
up until March,
So right,
the end of
right.
March.
So, anyways, let's jump on. Let's keep going here. We can keep going.
We're just
on for this.
we're just venting here.
Here we go.
We're shocked or amused, or if you gave him shit on text or what.
다 컸다.
거기 어떤 가사가 있어?
그냥 뭐
일주일 내내
있을 때
널 사랑할 거야?
뭐지? Love you 뭐지? Love you.
원래는 여기인데 이제 샥한 버전이 이제 Love You고
fuck 아니었어? 그게?
그러니까 그건 욕 버전.
그게
Love
배운 버전.
you는 아니지 뭐지?
맞아요.
그러니까 뭐야 가사가 정확하게 기억이 안 나서.
Love you on a 7 days a week.
So it was afterward before love, and a label wanted to change it to love. It was originally F word, but I told the label, please don't change. Like why not? He's all grown up. He can sing. He can sing an F word.
Love you on a you right이다.
그러니까.
Were you at all shy to have them all hear that?
쟤란 부끄러웠을 것 같은데.
부끄러운 건 없었고요. 뭐 어때? 이런 느낌이었어요.
When on 2.0, you know, you talk about trying to leapfrog, and basically you're addressing theoretical competitors, you know, people trying to keep up with you. But it's weird because you don't. I was trying to think who those competitors will be. That you're in your own category.
뭐
Oh, I can think
그렇다기보다는
of a few
결국
groups.
우리의 경쟁 상대는 우리라고
The
생각이
Stray
들어서
Kids right off the bat.
우리의 다음 스텝은 무엇인가? 그러니까 우리의 그 전의 모습을 어떻게 깰 것인가를 저는 좀
Cordis.
생각을 했었던 것 같아요. 그래서
Yeah, but Cordis is in
사실
the same
조금
label.
더
Doesn't mean that they don't have
좀 더 여유롭고
competitive spirit.
They're
뭔가
like fifth
좀,
generation.
그냥 좀 가볍게 하는데 멋이 있는 그런 것들을 좀 추구하려고 많이 노력을 했고 그런 식으로 또 작업도 했고 2.0라는 곡이 또 굉장히 또 재밌게 나오지 않았나. 그리고 또 퍼포먼스도 또 그동안 해왔던 그런 BTS의 모습과는 달리 또 다른 여유 있는 모습을 또 보여주고 있는 것 같아서 거기에
What
맞게끔
is
또 잘
JK
나온 것
doing?
같고 네.
그 맨 처음 곡 작업을 할 때 키워드를
Making sure his words come out right.
콧물 나왔네.
He said your nose is running.
여기 이렇게 나와 있어.
Oh my God,
그치.
are you serious?
일단은 2.0가 왜 웃지? 일단 2.0가 호비 형이 일단은
Oh
아이디어를
my
만들어냈어요. 이게 2.0라는 키워드 어때를 호비 형이 던지고 나서 그거 좋은데 해서 이제 2.0라는 그런 주제로 이렇게
제 세션에 이렇게 있었는데
그쵸.
JHope 정국 있었는데 그때는 이제 사실
정국이 자고 있을 거야.
세션이다 보니까
나 진짜 너무 졸렸어. 아니 그게 비트만 들으면은 진짜 와 진짜 죽을 맛이었어.
근데 그만큼 되게 치열하게 나온 것 같아 나는 그 기분을 담아서
저는
여유롭게
재밌었어요.
나온 것 같아.
아드방에서 계속 나오는데 스네어가 땅땅땅땅땅땅땅.
그쵸. 계속 그것만 했었어.
Suga, so many cool producers on this album, and I know you're a producer yourself. And I'm curious, you know, some moments where maybe you learned something from from a Kevin Parker, or you know, things that may have, or maybe where they learned from you, because that's very possible too.
확실히 좀 이 작업 방식이 워낙 이제 뭐 미국 친구들이 워낙 좀 자유롭고 또 워낙 잘하다 보니까 저도 뭐 엄청 많이 배웠고 또 그 친구들이 음악에 접근하는 방식도 되게 좀 새롭고 그래서 되게 엄청 재밌게 작업을 많이 하는 것 같아요.
Fire is such an incredible song, but I think that's the one where you where there's a mention of both Michael Jackson and Britney Spears, and I was wondering if some of you might want to talk about their impact.
So, I mean, they are, they're just truly icons, and Fire's just started from the word fire because it was the most used words out of the whole session. Like when somebody likes a beat or a word or an outfit, then it's that's fire, that's fire, that's fire. It's like 100 times a day. We hear it like every day, and then everybody started to use the word.
So you're almost making fun of the American producers by saying, but because they keep saying it, right?
Yo, that's fire, bro. That's fire, man. So we're trying to copy them, like, yo, that's fire too, you know? So I just use that word into a song. It just perfectly matched the beat. And then I just hope it could be like a nuts song, like just mosh pit. Everyone just could just jump and just doing the mosh pit thing. And then why we use the Britney and Michael Jackson is because they are truly icons and nobody just doesn't know them. That's all. Yeah.
2.0 was almost addressed at yourselves, you said. But I mean, if I think of any competition for you, I think of Taylor Swift, Harry Styles, Bruno Mars. If there's any competition, that's who it is.
They're greater artists than us. We're just so small. We're just a boy band from Korea. And
Come on.
actually,
Come on.
Actually, 2.0 is, it's about a lot of things. I also thought about haters. Just like, there are still, I think there are really people who just pray with a bottle of water in their home and then just please BTS, just go fall down. Just please, BTS, just break apart and collapse. I think there are people something like that.
Oh, there are.
I just were thinking about, you know, it's like, okay, guys, for 2-3 years we have been apart, like, you know, to all the ministry, and 3 years passed, and people are still, you know, there are armies like waiting for us. The world is waiting for us. So you guys had your little fun, and then knock knock and pew pew. Oh, bye. That's it.
BTS, collectively, thanks so much for joining me. And again, welcome back to the Cover of Rolling Stone.
Collective gang.
Thank you for inviting us.
All right. Rolling Stone does great fucking photo shoots, man.
I know, they look so
They do
good.
so well.
I can't wait to get my hands on that.
Yeah. That's 60 frames right there. All right. Well, so with that said, I'll say it like this. I absolutely 100% believe they're going to be at the Super Bowl. No doubt about it. Number two, they will win a Grammy. They have to win a Grammy. They're too big right now not to do it. So, but we're going to make sure that they do. And Irene and I are still thinking about how we can do it. We have our contacts with Grammy, the Grammy people in Neris, as well as voting members. So we just have to be tactful how we do it, because also if you do the wrong thing, it can be voter fraud.
Mhm.
And you don't want to get popped for that. And so we don't want to do anything illegal. We just want to bring attention to the fact that we believe that they deserve a Grammy by now. And when are the Grammys? The Grammys are in February too, aren't they?
The Grammys next year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So February of next year is going to be a very important deal. Now, what they do from now until that happens is really going to affect what happens in February. Not to mention that you also have the dual reality of what's happening in the world today. So we'll see. They've already run into racism when they were in the United States. There's been talks of little things that happened. I'm not too sure what happened with the Jimmy Fallon show. I guess maybe we haven't gotten too far into what has happened, and I've seen TikTok. To me, I don't know, man. I'm not taking a shot at TikTok. I am taking a shot at the people that put out misinformation on TikTok. I see things on TikTok and I go, oh my God, just to realize that that these people take time to put shit on TikTok that is just literally not true. And so I don't know what's happening when it comes to the Jimmy Fallon show, but what I heard was pretty serious. And what I was like, wow, this is horrible, the way that they treated Army. But I don't know. We haven't deciphered, because the other thing is we don't have time to really decipher between those type of yellow pages type information. You know what I mean? And so if you guys don't mind, let us know what happened. Let us know in the comments what really, really went down, or point us to a video or something that shows what happened. Now, we normally don't cover negative stuff on our channel or anything like that, but it's not to say that we wouldn't. I guess it would just, this would depend on what's true. We don't want to report anything that's not true. So again, if you know the truth, or you know a video or something, point us in the direction of what really happened, and then we'll think about doing a reaction to it. But, you know, I can only say, I said this before, if you go back to and I'm not trying to take credit or pat myself on the back. This is just like day one shit. I'm from the United States. I knew that, especially now in this climate, I knew that they were going to face some backlash. I knew there was going to be this racist piece of shits out there that were going to find this out and just, you know, just try to basically fuck them up any way that they can, just because they're Koreans. And that whole Asian hate is super, super palpable and thick amongst, you know, unfortunately, it's thick amongst conservatives there in the United States. Outside of the United States, I don't know anything about conservatism. I do absolutely know when it comes to the United States. So I saw it. It was more dramatic irony than anything because we both went, oh, this is going to be bad. What happened? Boom. Very first fucking thing at the Jimmy Fallon show. What the hell was that? That literally sounded like a.
I think they're working upstairs somehow.
It sounded like a trumpet. Anyways, let's get to it. This is RM talks about the band's identity, fighting demons, and the meaning of life. Let's go. Let's count it down. 1, 2, 3.
If we don't challenge anymore, then I think there's no reason that we should keep doing this as a team. So we have to show the world that we are still ongoing and still exploring and figure out like new things. But still, I think we have to push it to the edge even more. And it's just still not enough.
RM of BTS, welcome back to the cover of Rolling Stone.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
I relate to you because you seem to go through a mini existential crisis like maybe every week.
Yeah. Actually, I'm very nervous and afraid at the same time because it's been a while. And I really want to like pretend like that I'm okay and I'm ready, all decided, everything's great. I just can't wait. I just really want to say that, but even more than that, I really want to be honest. I just hope, everything's gonna be fine, and everything will be, but still, at the same time, I still have fears.
Do you have stress dreams before something is coming out?
Yes, I have like extreme stress and extreme like joy at the same time, and it's always like back and forth every time, every night. I think like these days when I wake up in the morning, like I always in a good mood, like just get a cup of coffee and then like it's a new day. But at night I feel like man, like I don't know what it's gonna be like, and so I really want to live great in the mornings, but I felt quite depressed and sad at night. But the funny thing is, it was like exactly the opposite like years ago. I loved the night because we like worked every day during daytime, and night when I just come home and I feel alone, I felt really great. I really love to walk the streets where nobody is.
In 2022, you were saying to Pharrell, you still love music, but then maybe you love visual arts more, maybe you loved other things more. Did you come back around, and how was that journey for you?
I think music, is always there. It's just the root. And, sometimes you just can't resist when just like some music you love is just turned on and you just can't help but just like dancing to it or like just like nodding to it, vibing to it. And I think visual art, sometimes it requires more like backgrounds and trainings and more kind of like intellectual things. In the military, I had listened to like so many albums. I'm in love with music more right now, maybe.
But when you think of listening to music during that time, was there a moment, is there an album or a song you can think of you connected with and said, this is my life this is saving my life right now?
I think last year it was Tyler's track with Tizo Touchdown. Forever is too long. It was like Tizo singing the phrase. Maybe like at that time, the military, I felt too long for me. I just kept thinking like, man, maybe it's gonna be like forever, and then the forever is too long. So I was like kept singing the phrase all the time, and I got I think I was being healed singing along to it, and like Dijon's album was great.
Production is so crazy.
Right. Spotify Wrapped, I checked it. The Dijon's album, I think I listened to it more than like 500 minutes. And Joji, Pass Won't Leave My Bed. The past won't leave my bed. sometimes it's just like a simple phrase, but it just hits you like so hard when it is combined with like certain type of sound and instruments.
You made it clear that when with Butter and Permission to Dance, they were so huge and so successful, they left you confused about what is BTS.
Yes.
And I think that you had a few years to think about that. I think you did figure it out, but I'm curious about like your sort of mental journey from, man, I don't know what we are anymore, to I know now.
I think I still don't know. And maybe, I think a musician should talk with their music, right? And it's being more and more just careful to explain and like describe how I'm feeling right now, or what like this album is about, or well, I think it's just this magazine and this interview with you is just another record, so I could like look back to it when I'm like 50. Yeah, looking back to it and like, man, when I was like 31, I felt like that, and I was like talking to you that because I believe right now like this type of feeling is the deepest truth in my heart. I think I'm still really confused because I thought in the military maybe if it's just all finished and we all come back in 2025 June, then maybe there's some type of very precise, sharp consensus that we could all like relate to, but which was not very true. So I think these 14 tracks are the could be the type of, it's still blurry, but it could be just an answer to the people who is wondering like what is BTS in 2026. But I think for this album, I try to say that express more of universal things like love, hurt, nostalgia, missing, and I think I'm still into that expanding personal experiences into universal like emotions and feelings.
The energy reminds me a little bit of the beginning.
Really?
The early rap, more rap rocky stuff.
I think that's really great to hear because, I had plenty of time to look back. It's truly a new start, and so I think why I felt that energy was because that I think we actually are treating this moment as our new start, but I think we unconsciously just coming back to like when we started, like all those really turned up energy, like very resistant and I want to show something to the world type of energy. But I think we got more mature. It's going to be definitely the new chapter of BTS.
It's so interesting to listen to your solo albums, Indigo and Right Place, Wrong Person, because in some ways it feels like these are the albums, the kind of music they might have made had there never been the BTS.
Right.
It's
I
like,
think so.
It's interesting to me that you could even get to that place as an artist mentally.
I think, it's really funny to say, and I think lots of people maybe just slightly know, like who BTS is. Maybe the people, won't agree, but I think I'm really finding myself as, man, I'm born as a kind of a anti to like something. Yeah, like when everybody is saying yes, I really want to say no. When I've been doing BTS, I loved it, but I really did hate something, of course, and I just couldn't deny all those feelings. And but I think I knew like what is what to like show to the people, or what to just hide and just make it into an album. When I just come back as a solo, I was like thinking of like, man, I gotta do this, I gotta say it, because if it's 7, I have to do my role, have to sometimes be nice, and because lots of kids are watching us, but sometimes I just started music you know, just on the streets and by rapping. And I just can't resist that. Sometimes I feel like I just want to do this. I just want to do this shit. So I listen to pop music.
Doesn't want to
Um,
see.
I love it. I enjoy like every pop music. I always like check the charts sometimes. Sometimes when I just don't want to use my brain too much, I just find like the top 50 global and just listen to it. But sometimes I feel like, man, this is not enough. I have to like dig more. I have to explore what the world is like. I just want to see the edges, of this earth. So when it comes to solid project, every infras and every powers and every impacts, the numbers maybe, or the masses, the scales, that helped me a lot so that I could express maybe without thinking of economic things. And I could do a song with Little Sims, Monster Somni. They're great artists. By the name of, maybe sometimes using the name of BTS and the brand. When it comes to the team project, by the experiences that I had on my solo, just do everything to like 100 or even more than that. I could tell the team or the members that let's push it to the edge, like even more. This is not enough. This is too safe. If we don't challenge anymore, then I think there's no reason that we should keep doing this as a team. So we have to show the world that we are still ongoing and still exploring and figure out like new things. I think we have to like have an experiment and push it to the edge even more, and just still not enough.
How did you resolve? I mean, your service was not easy on you.
No.
Are you sort of still recovering psychologically? How is that going for you?
I think I got out. I got out of it quite a lot, if we call it a cave. And it's been, this today's February, so it's been 8 months, and I think I'm good right now. But sometimes when I try to sleep and when it pops up, man, forget it. I'm done. I'm not in the military anymore. And but that experience, hitting the rock bottom, like psychologically, in the truth, I think that helps me. Like, this is now I'm sleeping on my bed. I'm good. Yeah. I think that's the great self-therapy.
Did that experience or the past few years change what you want out of life as a person?
I always want to live the present, the now, but it's just there are so many things in 2026 that are like distracting you and me from living now. Like, we're thinking when you look at the reels and all the shores that we're living now, but which is not. They just keep distracting me. So I really miss the time that I just walk in the rain and thinking of everything. I think those were the times that I truly lived the present. I really don't want to think of the past and the future because they are just fantasy. But it's really hard just to focus on where you are right now. So today is like 12th of February, and I always try hard to sometimes just put the phone down and maybe read books. When it's like this, I try hard not to think about the past and the future, because the future never comes.
Yeah.
Future never comes.
You were in that dark place psychologically and you got out of it. It wasn't forever. What would you say to someone who, there may be a fan who feels that way right now?
I got out of the crisis. I had last year because of the all those environments I had. I got out of it like physically, but mentally, I'm just admitting it that essential sorrow. I don't know what it is called, but it's always there in some part of my heart. So I think I'm still in the middle of just admitting like who I am. I'm like maybe too sensitive than the others, maybe the average, or I think too much. Sometimes I can't sleep. But do you want to die? No. I try to love the life, the skies, taking walks, good friends, drinks, music, interview. I'm still fighting the demons. And I think maybe it could be forever. And forever is too long, like I said. But I just want to say one thing, like simply, in short, I think life is fun. Because it's not because I'm BTS or I'm a star in the spotlight. I think just life is fun and living is better.
I thought we'd end with the meaning of life. Thank you.
Thank you.
Very cool. Very, very cool. Well, folks, I will say this about RM. He's a deep, deep individual. Now, I didn't know that he was going through any type of depression. Was that depression while he was serving or when he got out? Because I wasn't clear on it.
He said that when he got out, he had a little bit of a crisis.
Right. It was that damn saxophone. Those saxophones are evil, folks.
Yeah.
No. Well, listen, he recovered admirably. Fighting demons is something I think everybody is prone to do. But I will say this, what I do like about this interview was the fact that he really kind of focused deep on how he has reached this moment. So a lot of time spent by himself. He lets that happen. Going out for walks by himself and then listening to a lot of music and collaborating with different people. I think that's important. And I think he does that so that kind of gives him a little bit of relevancy to himself. If he's going through depression, I know how that goes through because I know what that's like because I've suffered through the same thing, like trying to be relevant and not the fact that you want to be relevant to the industry and more than trying to be relevant to yourself, you know. And I think at 30 years old, it's the same age that my son, like I'm watching like my son go through what RM is going through, which is the shedding of the immaturity of being in your 20s and coming out of that whole going from a teenager into an adult. Like those levels are all pinnacle to each other, but this one is the most pinnacle. This is the moment of your truth because now you're at the what most people will say the last stage of your life, which is the adult stage, and everything that you go through there. So the fact that he's I can see where he's developing because by 25 years old, a man has at least started to understand the psyche of foreshadowing. If I say this, this could affect this. If I do this now, this could affect me later in this way. So I think those guys have been given some really good opportunities to grow. And he definitely is taking the time to enjoy everything that he's going through at this moment, even if it means being a little more private, being a little more shut off from the other people that he used to consort with all the time or be around. It seems like he's starting to curb that. And that happens. That's just the natural way of life, especially when you start getting older like that. So great interview. He did a lot of talking, more talking than I thought he was going to do, but
Mm-hmm.
he made the interviewer's job really super easy. Now, let's get into Mr. Super Tuna. I love this man. Jin is awesome. Got to see him in concert twice in a row. Once in London, and then we flew to Amsterdam to see that concert right after London. And I got to say, we had a lot of fun. His concert was great. And it was awesome seeing all of the army and all of the little tuna factions that kind of break off from army. The super tunas, the tuna heads. So believe it or not, there's animosity between some of these tuna groups. There's the tuna heads that wear the tuna fish on their head, right? But then there's the tunas, the official tunas,
The official super tuna.
the super tunas, and they actually wear the entire tuna outfit. And while we were at the concert in Amsterdam, or in London, I actually saw almost a fight between the tuna squads, because I literally heard somebody say, "Oh my God, look at them. They look so stupid. We were the first and original super tunas." And one person was like, "Oh, just ignore them." She goes, "No, I should go over there and give them a piece of my mind." Meanwhile, I'm looking at the tuna heads and they're all like, I'm like, "What you gonna do? What you gonna do?" So, do tunas actually fight in real life? I don't know. You guys tell me. All right. I love this man, Jin. Let's go. Let's calm it down. Here we go. 1, 2, 3.
멤버들과 있을 때 가장 마음이 편안하고 멤버들과 함께 하는 게 정말 행복한 거구나를 다시 한번 느낄 수 있게 만들어준 시간이었던 것 같아요.
Jin and BTS, welcome back to the cover of Rolling Stone.
롤링스톤과 다시 이렇게 함께하게 되어 너무너무 영광입니다.
In the time since we last spoke, you've done a lot, but one of the things you did is you made the song Loser, and I love that song so much.
원하신다면 지금 당장 불러드릴 수도 있죠.
Please.
Sorry.
That is a rock song that is better than most of the rock songs that rock bands have been making recently. So just tell me about that one, because it's so great.
그 한국 아티스트 중에 그 최애나라는 분과 같이 한 곡인데 이제 제 나이가 35이에요. 근데 좀 어린 느낌의 그런 분위기를 내보고 싶어서 한번 트라이를 해봤던 곡인데 이렇게 잘 들어주셨다니 너무 감사하네요. 제가 밴드나 락적인 장르를 그래도 나름 좋아하는 편인데 앨범에 한번 개인 앨범에 꼭 담아보고 싶어서 좀 더 많은 요구를 했었던 것 같아요. 원래 초기 단계에는 이거보다 조금 더 약했었는데 조금 더 지르는 쪽이 강했으면 좋겠다, 사운드가 어땠으면 좋겠다라고 요구를 많이 했었던 곡이었던 것 같아요.
How do you feel about being 35 and being an idol? You look very young, you feel good, but how do you reconcile that in your mind? Is it on your mind? Do you think about it a lot?
사실 몸이야 늘 힘들지만 같은
wait till you get
동작,
to
움직임을
40
해도
something.
Yeah,
그
really.
전보다 조금 더 힘에
Make it
붙이는
fit
경우가
for it.
있는 게 사실이긴 합니다만 그거는 이제 제 사정일 뿐이고 남들이 볼 때는 언제나 이 최선의 몸 움직임을 보여드려야 되니까 더욱더 노력해야죠.
Just train harder? Is that the...
사실 제가 저희 멤버들보다 조금 더 몸놀림이나 이런 게 조금 더 떨어진다고 저도 자각하고 있기에 그 전에도 뭐 미리 나와서 연습을 한다거나 남아서 더 연습을 한다거나 이랬었는데 뭐 지금도 역시 그러고 있습니다.
Still handsome, I must say.
뭐 이거는 그냥 타고난 운이 좋았다고 봐야죠.
I can't take that away from you.
그쵸? 저 멤버들보다 그래도 얼굴이 조금 더 괜찮지 않나라고 생각하고 있습니다. 다들 너무 잘생겼죠. 저도 뭐라도 하나 더 멤버들보다 조금 더 뛰어나야죠.
This is good because we're having a deep discussion right now. More seriously, you did a very cool tour with a rock band, very different from what you do with BTS. How did that experience carry forward into, both making the album and in, when you're going to be touring with BTS back with the band?
제가 사실 밴드 분들과 같이 투어를 한 거는 뭐 몇 달밖에 되지 않았고 저희 멤버들과 같이 투어를 다녔던 거는 10년이 넘어가기 때문에 아마 그 밴드가 영향이 크지는 않을 것 같고요. 저희는 뭐 저희 멤버들과 같이 음악을 하면서 십몇 년 동안 합을 맞춰 났기 때문에 아마 큰 문제 없이 멤버들과 조화롭게 또 다시 투어를 다닐 수 있지 않을까라고 생각하고 있어요. 멤버들이 투어가 너무 하고 싶었는지 이를 갈고 노력을 하더라고요. 그래서 저도 거기에 맞추느라 되게 힘들었습니다. 열심히 해야죠.
RM spoke about being confused about the nature of BTS after Butter, Permission to Dance, and having to figure out a sort of a new mission for the band. Did you have any agreement with that and have to go on a similar mental journey?
저는 그 부분에 대해서는 그 멤버들과 의견이 살짝 맞진 않았었는데, 저는 어쨌든 이 음악에도 성적이라는 게 있잖아요. 근데 저는 잘 된 게 우리의 정체성이다 라는 생각을 가지고 있었는데, 좀 아닌 멤버들도 있더라고요. 그래서 많은 대화를 해본 결과 그래도 역시 우리가 하던 음악을 하는 게 결과적으로는 우리의 정체성이지 않나 라는 말에 뭐 설득되고 매료도 되고 해서, 그래 결국에는 우리가 하고 싶어 했던 말들을 하는 게 우리의 정체성이다 라는 생각을 다시 하게 됐죠.
How did the time away in general, because both your service and your solo music took you away from the group, and then here you are back together. How did your time away change the way you think about the band and your role in the band and your life in the band?
일단 멤버들이 너무 보고 싶었고, 지금 멤버들이 군대 가 있는 동안 못 본 시간만큼 1년 동안 같이 일하면서 또 그 시간을 보낸 것 같은데, 역시 멤버들과 있을 때 가장 마음이 편안하고 멤버들과 함께 하는 게 정말 행복한 거구나를 다시 한번 느낄 수 있게 만들어준 시간이었던 것 같아요.
I have a feeling, I know that you recorded something like 100 songs for this album, and I have a feeling that you have a lot of writing credits maybe on songs that didn't make the album. And I'm wondering about those songs. Maybe you can tell me what they were like.
이게 어디서도 풀지 않았던 에피소드긴 한데, 사실 제가 작업을 한 게 없어요. 왜냐면 제가 투어를 그때 저는 솔로 투어를 다니고 있었는데, 애들이 세션을 하는 곳에 도착을 했을 때 이미 100몇십 곡이 만들어져서 저는 그 중에서 추렸던 노래들을 이제 테스트 녹음을 해보는데 한 일주일에서 10일 정도를 썼던 것 같고, 그게 끝나니까 이제 세션이 끝난 상황이었어요. 세션은 시작하기 전에 한 3달 전부터 스케줄이 잡혀 있었고, 제 투어는 그것보다 몇 달 전부터 잡혀 있었어가지고 좀 이
You had to work around
타이밍이
that
맞지
schedule.
않았죠. 그래서
Yeah.
멤버들도 군대에 있었고 팬분들이 심심해 하실 것 같아서 저는 이 팬분들의 이 마음을 달래주기 위한 노력을 하고 있는 시간에 이제 모든 곡들이 다 완성이 돼 있었습니다.
The album is so good, but imagine how much better it would be if it had just a few more writing credits by you.
저도 그랬으면 좋겠을 거라고 생각하지만 우리 멤버들이 워낙 너무 잘해줬고, 그리고 제가 또 욕심을 내서 나도 집어넣어야 돼 해서 세션을 몇 달간 더 미뤄왔다면 저희의 인터뷰는 지금이 아닌 몇 달 뒤였을 거라고 생각해요. 팬분들이 그 몇 달 동안 되게 심심해 하시지 않을까요? 뭐 아쉽긴 한데 제가 살아가는 게 이제 지금만 있는 건 아니잖아요. 미래에도 있고 뭐 기회는 언제든지 있다고 생각해서 뭐 아쉽지만 그 당시로는 저는 최선의 선택이었던 것 같아요.
What's interesting is I feel like they were influenced by your rock approach. They were influenced by your rock music, even if you weren't there for the writing. I feel like it takes in those rock elements that you love and that you use so well.
이번에 락적인 게 뭐 없다시피 해서, 사실 저희는 힙합 베이스에 이제 힙합을 기반으로 해가지고 만들어진 그룹이고, 락은 사실 저희 멤버들도 좋아하긴 하지만 제가 가장 많이 좋아해요. 그래서 제 개인 앨범, 솔로 앨범의 기반은 이제 락 기반으로 만들어진 거고, 아마 영향은 조금 적지 않았나라고 생각이 들어요.
Most, but I hear on the edges, I hear the rock.
아마 그게 있다면 그 멤버들이 제가 콘서트를 하는 걸 보고 본인들도 너무 하고 싶다고 연락을 계속 보내왔었어요. 그래서 아마 영향이 간다면 제가 콘서트 하는 걸 보고 본인들도 하고 싶다는 생각에 정말 열심히 노래를 만든 게 아닐까라는 뭐 그런 영향이 조금 있지 않을까라고 생각이 듭니다. 이 귀라는 멤버는 제 개인 콘서트에 게스트로 나와서 제가 콘서트 하는 모습을 보고 그 장면이 너무 그리워서 콘서트 무대 위에서 울었었어요.
Real quick, your 5 greatest rock bands of all time.
이게 저도
Oh, let's
이
go.
가장 좋아하는 락 밴드들이 많지만 또 뭔가 제가 얘기를 한다면 이 형평성에 어긋나기 때문에 저랑 가장 친하고 제가 가장 존경하는 우리 락 밴드 콜드플레이 형님들만 가장 우선적으로 좋아한다고 얘기하고 싶습니다. 제 마음속에 울림을 주시는 분들이에요.
Give me your number 2.
No.
What is your favorite rock song of all time?
그것도 저는 콜드플레이 형님들의 비바라비다라는 곡을 가장 좋아하는데 실제로 게스트를 2번을 섰어요. 제가 그 무대에. 근데 제가 등장해야 되는 부분은 훨씬 뒤쪽이었는데 저는 그 무대를 제 눈으로 꼭 직접 계속해서 담고 싶어서 백스테이지에서 혼자 점프 하면서 그 무대를 봤던 기억이 있어요. 그 무대를 보고 있으면 심장이 뛰고 막 뭔가 벅차오르고 그런 감동이 있어요. 뭔가 저에게 새로운 영감을 주는 그런 노래였죠. 그래서 이번 솔로 앨범 할 때도 그 벅참을 생각하면서 되게 많은 영감이 떠올랐었던 것 같아요.
Yes, it's the same thing that Coldplay does it, U2 does it. It's that thing of the big swelling up. That's the feeling you seek, is that big explosion emotionally and sonically, right?
저도 잘 모르겠어요. 제가 그렇게 많은 공연을 가보진 못해서 공연을 많이 해보긴 했지만 공연을 많이 가보지는 못했어요. 근데 뭔가 그 무대만큼은 다른 굉장히 좋은 노래도 많고 호응 좋은 노래도 많지만 그 노래만큼은 저에게 뭔가 조금 다른 느낌이었어요.
Being the eldest of the band it has a certain responsibility to it. I think there's an expectation that you have wisdom, you go through things first, even service you did first. What do you like and dislike about the role of being the eldest in the band?
제가 맏형이지만 팀 내에서 사실 뭐 멤버들이 저에게 맏형 취급이라고 하기 좀 그렇고 이 맏형처럼 생각해 주지는 않고요. 제가 행동을 맏형처럼 하지도 않고. 근데 그래도 멤버들이 뭐 형 거리면서 이렇게 불편하지 않게 다가와 주는 것, 그게 제일 좋고요. 그리고 제일 안 좋은 점은 그 똑같은 개념으로 그래도 형인데 하면서 너무 친근하게 다가올 때 막 제 엉덩이를 때린다거나 뭐 그럴 때가 제일 안 좋은 점이라 생각해요.
And the truth is, by the way, 35 is very young.
Yeah, I know. 그래도 확실히 이 25과 35의 차이는 존재하긴 하더라고요.
And you're always the first one to experience that in the band. That's part of what the...
Oh yeah.
맞습니다. 그 멤버들이
40, verse
저에게 이런
50.
얘기를 한 적이 있어요. 형 그래도 더 열심히 하고 형 힘든 거는 형이 충분히 이겨낼 수 있어요라고 얘기를 했던 친구가 있는데 저보다 몇 살이 어리거든요. 2-3살이 어린데 그 친구가 2-3년 뒤에 오더니 형이 이 나이 때 이런 힘듦을 겪었구나. 저는 지금에서야 알았어요. 라는 얘기를 해준 적이 있어요.
You did your TV show that was a big success and everyone loved it. How does that affect the way you think of career possibilities going forward?
저는 멤버들과 함께가 아니라면은 굳이 더 이상 할 이유가 없다라는 생각을 늘 갖고 있고요. 저에게 솔로 커리어는 중요하지 않은 것 같아요. 뭔가를 한다면 이 팀 내에 있고 팬분들이 심심하실 때 다른 것도 한번 봐주십시오 하고 트라이하지 않을까라고 생각을 하고요. 뭐 연기나 다른 쪽은 전혀 관심이 없습니다.
So now you finally let that go. That was always kind of floating in the air.
저는 몇 년 동안 가능성을 전혀 염두에 두고 있지 않았어요. 그냥 뭐 시기적으로 맞지 않겠다라는 생각을 했었는데 그 시기가 정말 앞으로도 오랫동안 오지 않을 생각인 건 뭐 변함이 없는 것 같습니다.
What is your biggest personal ambition for the next 5 years?
가장 큰 첫 번째 목표가 멤버들과 같이 투어에 나가서 전 세계 최대한 많은 그 나라의 팬분들을 만나보는 게 제 꿈이었어요. 근데 처음 투어 계획이 나왔을 때는 지금만큼 이렇게 많은 나라가 아니었어요. 한 3, 4개월 정도의 규모였고 저는 이번에는 우리가 돌아온 이상 정말 많은 분들을 만나기로 약속했는데 이거는 우리가 했던 약속과 다른 것 같다. 훨씬 많은 나라와 도시를 터칭하는 걸로 다시 구성했으면 좋겠다 해가지고 지금의 투어가 나오게 된 거죠. 그래서 원래 한 4개월 정도만 목표였던 투어를 1년 넘게로 연장을 시켰습니다.
Well, thank you so much. Good to see you.
Thank you. Good to see you.
I got a lot to say here. Now, I will say this, that towards the end of the BTS, or how can I say, him representing the last solo tour, right? Being the last person that went out on tour as a solo artist, separate from BTS, and then jumping into doing the album and then releasing it and going through this tour again. Makes me think, and makes me say that he's worked the hardest so far. He's worked the hardest. Well, only by default though. I'm not saying that, and by no means am I saying that he's lazy. I would never say that. I'm saying it doesn't seem like there's any room for him to relax.
Right.
You know what I mean? So you wouldn't actually blame him if he would have taken some time to relax. But going from that tour, what was it called?
What was it called?
Happy?
No.
Something. Anyways, going from that tour, then literally, and then even towards the end of that tour, flying out in between dates to LA to record and coming back. I guess my question is, did they have like a portable studio? Like for instance, when Eminem was doing 8 Mile, right? My brother and I went to go see him and we were in his trailer. And in his trailer, he had a full-blown recording studio. Like there was the engineer, I think his name was Adam at that point.
It was
or
called Run Suck Gene.
Run, right. Run Sukjin. Okay, so the point was that even during the filming of 8 Mile, he still had a recording studio. You know what I mean? It was there. It was right inside of his trailer. So I kind of feel like I wonder if that is the same thing that happens with these guys. Like, but I'll say it like this. I saw that work ethic with Eminem having like the small Pro Tools HD setup in his trailer with having his engineers and stuff like that there inside that trailer. So basically saying this, I guess, would be for one to adjust certain things during the show, or I don't know. No, not really, because they're filming, so they wouldn't be. Basically, just for him, when he gets an idea and he wants to spit something, he can go right into his trailer and he can do it, which is crazy because the film was shot in Detroit. It's not like he's from Detroit, and where we were at was downtown Detroit, you know, right next to the Sharon Stadium, right? So he lives in Warren, which is right up the street. So not only do I know that he has a recording studio in his house, but he's got Studio A in Dearborn Heights. He's got all these other different studios that he could have used for that, but he chose to have his own thing. Now, why do I say that? Because I feel like that's probably what would have happened with Jin. I feel like they would.
So because he said that he didn't write anything on the
No, but
album.
it's not necessarily for him to be writing. I understand because he didn't have time to be writing because he's on tour. He would, however, have some time to record something.
I don't think.
Like they could say, hey, we need you to record this and have them. So I don't know. You're right. I don't know if they did that or not. I know that on on another scale that Eminem had that, and I was there. I saw it. I was in that trailer. So I mean, all I can say is that that was to me like, wow, that's really working. Because he had a soundtrack that he had to put towards this movie. He could have very well just said, "I'll get to all of that once we're done shooting it," but that's not what happened. However, I did get to hang out with Aerosmith and uh, Liv Tyler, and I'll say this: when they backed their truck up, they had their own in the backstage. They had their own little trailer, I guess you can say, and it was a lounge and everything. They had everything for Aerosmith, but they didn't have a recording studio. You know what I mean? So that was the other give and take. Although I will say that was some years ago. Still, at that point, I had my own recording studio, and at that point, I definitely had taken my recording studio to different locations to either record live acts or to even record somebody at their place. So there's that difference. You know what I mean? With Aerosmith, they didn't have a studio setting like that. It was everything else but that, right? But with Eminem, it was trailer, recording studio in his trailer. So I don't know. I guess it's work ethics versus necessity. I feel like, okay, maybe he didn't go back to Los Angeles, or maybe he didn't have a studio with him, but he worked. He worked. It always seemed like he was working. And just jumping back out of his tour back into the studio, and then like literally, it almost seems as if just like the tour that he probably would have been the last person to record anything on that record and then just jumping onto tour. So in any event, he works hard. I don't know the inner workings of it. I can't give you an expert. I'm not there. I can only tell you that in the times that I've been with some of the artists that I've hung out with in the past, a recording studio seemed to always be around except for Aerosmith. And I mean, I can name other groups, but I only mention Eminem because that really impressed the shit out of me because he wasn't even doing a concert. I could understand having that if during a concert on the tour, if you need to change something, you could do it. But filming a movie just showed his work ethics. The other thing too that I'll say about Eminem real quick, and it doesn't mean anything, but there's something I respect, which is something I try to do for myself. He said, dude, have working hours. Like, show up to studio at this time and be done by this time. Like, don't linger in the studio. And this coming from him because in the beginning, that's exactly what he did. He would be in the studio. He wouldn't leave that studio until it was absolutely right. And if that meant staying into the morning, into the next day, this dude worked. I know people that worked with him in that capacity. Eric Morgeson, shout out Studio A, Dearborn Heights. So, but eventually M came to that point where he ended up saying, hey man, give yourself hours, you know? You're in the studio at this time, try to be there. Like, try to make concise hours that you're in the studio. And then if it's 5 or 6 o'clock, you want to be done, then be done. Like, there comes a point when you have to live the rest of your life outside that studio. And so, thought it was really cool. I hope that this is the way it is with these guys because they work so damn hard. And I know that I've said it before to Irene just in our private time, like, yeah, he's fucking working. This guy really is putting in, at the end of the day, he's putting in a lot of work going from his tour and recording his record, touring right away, and then jumping out of that tour right into, getting the last bits and pieces of the recording and everything, and then going right on tour again. So, yeah, that's he's a special human being to be able to do that because I don't think that I could be able to do that. Years ago when I was DJing and I was going all over the world and DJing and stuff like shit was hard, man. Shit was hard. And it's hard for me at this age, going all over the place and shit. And I'm not doing half the work that those guys are doing. I'm just sitting there pushing buttons. You know what I mean? I'm playing songs and I'm mixing, but I am not dancing. I am not trying to rock I don't even have to say anything, nothing. These guys are the full package. So in any event, kudos out to them. Much respect. And I guess we'll just end it here. Thank you guys for everybody who came into the chat here. Thank you for being there and participating. Although this is pre-recorded, I'm in that chat. So hello, you. Hello, Frankie. Frankie Biggz. Hello. Hi. I love you. I think you're an awesome dude.
What the hell?
I don't talk to myself enough, and if I do, it's certainly not anything good. So today I'm in a better mood. So hello, Frankie. You're doing a good job, guy. Doing a good job. Don't forget that. Keep swimming. Just keep swimming. In any event, thank you guys for hanging out. For those of you, my rovers, thank you for being there. And my Discord peeps, please, guys, Discord. Also, you can catch some content on my Patreon. So go to the Patreon, sign
Yeah,
up for
probably this one is gonna have a copyright issue.
more than
so-
likely there'll be a copyright issue, so you can get the full interview. If we have to do that, you can get it in my Patreon. Sign up for free. It's only 7 days, and then you don't have to continue if you don't like to, but you do get to catch up on all the content that I cannot put here on YouTube. This may be one of them because Rolling Stones, they don't play. Rolling Stone don't play with that shit. So in any event, you guys be cool. Thank you for coming on. If you haven't yet, please like, subscribe, and put that notification bell on so you know the next time we drop one of these BTS tracks, BTS interviews, BTS everything. It's BTS Sunday. We'll see you guys later. Have a great week. Peace.